Okay, so this time I thought I'd do EddieV because I actually, as I was falling asleep last night, got the most random word said, and it's with EddieV in mind. He says tiger, so I don't know what that's about, but it seemed quite light-hearted, and hopefully it would make sense to him. It's very interesting. I went quite into a few different avenues and points with this, and everything seems to kind of go in the same direction. It's difficult with this one because I feel like I want to laugh. I just feel like I want to just laugh and laugh. I don't know why. My heart feels like I've got, I don't know, I feel sort of silly and my heart feels full. Yeah, I just feel like I could just mess around and I don't know, it's strange. I feel like I'm home. I feel like, there's sunshine in my chest or something. I don't know how to explain it. And then on the other hand, sorry, I have asthma at the moment and it's causing havoc with my voice, so I hope you can bear with me. There's also just this sense of separation, and now I want to cry. But he knows that Eddie is always holding him close, and he believes in him 100%. Obviously there are regrets, but he thinks, he says that Eddie knows about everything, and he knows a lot of secrets, and I think he has a very heavy heart at times. He's a great guy from what I'm being told. I do know of EddieV from my youth. I loved Pearl Jam, but I was never like a major fan of anybody. But I personally remember, I think it was at Glastonbury. I was watching something, and Eddie saw someone picking on another person in the crowd, and he literally just stopped the whole thing, the whole performance, and kind of pointed him out and basically called him out on what he was doing, and said, I don't tolerate that at all. And it was that kind of really made me kind of think, wow, that you can be a great guy and still have success. And I just admired him massively for that, as well as his song lyrics. I think as a teenager, they get you through sometimes, or they help you channel your anger or disappointment or resentment or whatever it is. Okay, so enough about my version of EddieV. So I don't think Chris relishes seeing those moments when you're in pain. God, I'm crying again. Jesus Christ. But he's with you. He's right there. So please, try not to, because he's right there. He's not really gone, he says. So what he had to say about Eddie was that he says you have such a sound mind, such a healthy, discerning mind that's just you're not swayed by things. You know the truth and you stick to it. He seems to want you to communicate something, and he says if you communicate whatever it is, he wouldn't tell me. I guess Eddie knows. Communicate something. There will be success. And you know, there were funny bits. It's so I don't know what to. Okay, so I mean, there was Tiger, and you know, this feeling of such a mutual love and friendship, like, you know, the ultimate kind of male friendship that I you know, obviously don't have being a female, but it's really something, and it's so genuine and true and real, and it still is. And I don't know whether I misheard this, but he said stud, so perhaps that makes sense to you, Tiger. Anyway, yeah, but he said your people's strength and stability, you know, and he mentioned strength a couple of times, and he said, and you know, it didn't even seem dramatic, but he said there's a war going on, and he said, and we'll have victory. He said, he gave me this analogy of a tree that takes nutrients but gives nothing. It gives nothing. It doesn't provide sustenance. It doesn't yield anything. There's no return, no reward for tending to this tree. He wants you to get an axe and chop the tree down, he says. And the last thing, which I can't really make a lot of sense of, he's saying, okay, there's something about a map. Either there is a map, or he wants you to make a map of houses, identify the houses, and then I got 260, and then there's something about where streets cross, or streets that cross over others, and that's all I've got, I'm afraid. I hope it makes sense. Okay, and oh, I forgot to say, there is one more thing. So I actually do have tarot cards. I don't use them that much, but a whole like, how many are these? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 fell down, and you know, it starts off kind of, you know, trying to sort of approach me, I guess, and it carries on with basically what he's saying is that I believe very strongly that Vicky shows up, and yeah, something happens. There's a male that turns up and disrupts her life, and something happens, and then whatever it is results in, there's no peace, there's no prosperity, there's nothing, you know. He often refers to the sun, so you know, there's this feeling of driving forth, right, to this woman, Vicky, and doing what you need to do, you know, with this power of the sun, kind of, just he's obsessed with the sun, and there will be victory, and there'll be no peace for the woman, and that's what he wants, you know. It didn't really, I was quite surprised that he said, you know, I want her dead, and I said, who, Vicky? And he said, yeah, her too, or and her, yeah, and her. And I think, you know, that wouldn't normally have been something he would say, but he didn't want to die. He was looking forward to so many new things. And you know, this back and forth, every time he tried to leave, he ended up staying to be the good parent for the children in the house, to try and bring them up to be who they are, down to earth, be themselves, and kind of counteract, you know, he didn't want another Carrie Annis created. Okay, so that's what I got for Eddie Vedder. Now then, I'm going to stop there and see what else we've got.